We recently did a video on the Ionstar Anti-Static gun, and today we're putting it to the test again. We've got a 2025 Mazda in the booth with a roof that was damaged during delivery by the transporter. So it's a perfect opportunity to see if this thing really makes a difference. The goal's simple, a flawless, ultra clean finish. Let's see if the Ionstar actually helps us get there. So recently I've seen a bit of a debate popping up on Facebook groups about masking, specifically whether it's better to use plastic or to go around what you're painting with paper instead of taking plastic right to the edge. Now personally, I used to be team paper. I'd always run paper right around the job, thinking it gave a cleaner finish and avoided any dust issues. But over time, I actually found the jobs were cleaner using plastic, as long as you use it the right way around. Treated side needs to face outwards so the overspray sticks to it instead of bouncing off. So if you're getting bits of dust in the edges when using plastic, check which way around you've got it. Once I started using it correctly, the difference in how clean the jobs came out was night and day. Everyone's got their own way, but that's what's been working for me lately. What about you guys, paper or plastic? Drop a comment and let me know what you're using in your booth. So I'm just wiping down the roof with some standard panel wipe. We're getting towards the last steps before paint. Then it's onto the water-based tack rag to make sure the surface is absolutely spotless. And as a final step, we're using the Ionstar Anti-Static gun to neutralise any and all the static on the panel, just to help us get the cleanest finish possible. For a small shop, I'm honestly really happy with what we've managed to put together in this booth. We're in the welcome thermodry heated air line, so even in winter we've got warm air flowing, and in summer our humidity stays under control. And now that we've added the Ionstar Anti-Static gun as well, we've made a massive difference to the final results. The only thing I'd still love to have one day is a full downdraft booth, but right now it's not an option for us. Still, for what we've got, I'm really proud of how clean the jobs come out. So now it's time for the Ionstar, the final step before we go into paint. This has to be the last step, because if you touch the panel after using it, you'll need to repeat the process again, otherwise you'll not be fully static free. One little tip I'll add, especially when you're doing a roof and need to move from one side of the car to the other, make sure you unwind your airline fully and set it up so it's not going to catch in anything. The last thing you want is it to snag or pull a step into the side of the car and create yourself more work. That can easily be avoided by just making sure you've routed your airline in a way where it's easy to move side to side. So prep your setup properly, stay static free, and you'll get a much cleaner finish every time. So as usual, we're sticking with our bulletproof favourite guns for this job, the same setup we use on most of our paintwork. For Basecoat, I'm using the DeVille DV1 Gambler Edition, absolute top tier gun for laying down flawless base. And for clear, it's the Iowata Series 2 Digital, which never disappoints when it comes to getting that perfect clear coat finish. I'm running a 1.3 setup in the DV1 for base and a 1.2 setup in the Iowata for clear. That combo just works brilliantly for me. Super consistent, clean results every time. That's why these two guns are my go-to setup. So we're finally on to laying some base coat now. It's about time, right? I'm spraying it around 22 psi. And before anyone says it, yeah, psi. That's because this DV1 is a US market Gambler edition and it only reads in psi. Getting this thing wasn't easy. It cost me a small fortune and a hell of a lot of effort at Seaman in Vegas a couple of years ago. The DeVille rep told me straight up that I couldn't have one and it couldn't happen. So naturally, I took it as a personal challenge. And guess what? If you want something bad enough and you're stubborn enough, like me, you can usually make it happen. It's totally worth it though. This gun sprays like an absolute dream and it looks cool doing it. I mean, who doesn't want a bit of Vegas in the paint booth? So the original plan was nice and simple. 3 coats of base on the repair area and then just blend it out around the edges. The colour match on this one was pretty much bang on, so that should have been that. But at the last minute, I decided to go rogue and drop a light coat over the rest of the roof just to make sure there were zero blend lines or surprises. And honestly, I'm glad I did. The little extra step could have made all the difference. It came out absolutely spot on in the end, and sometimes your gut just knows better than what your original plan was. So after finishing the base coat, I decided to hit it again with the Ionstar just to make sure we're still fully static free. The job was super clean, but time was ticking on. The general advice is to get your clear on within about 15 minutes. So I figured giving it another quick blast couldn't hurt, just to neutralise anything that might have built up since the base coat went down. Maybe this step isn't even needed. I'm curious what you guys think. If you're using an anti-static gun, Do you hit it once per job or twice? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I'm all for clean jobs, but if I'm zapping panels twice when I don't need to, I'd love to know. So now the base is down, the IONSTAR's used again, let's hit it with the clear. I'm using Deltron 8131 clear, 2 coats with a 5-minute flash time in between. The first coat laid down really nicely, and after 5 minutes we went in with a second coat. I've got to say, for a roof job, this one's a lot cleaner than I'm used to. Our booth's a backdraft setup, and they have a habit of pulling a bit of dust back over the job, which is exactly why a downdraft booth is on my wish list. But the IONSTAR has made a noticeable difference. There's way less dirt in the finish, but more importantly, the few nibs that are there are tiny. None of those big nasty ones which you usually end up chasing when you're flatting and polishing. Honestly, for a backdraft booth setup, I'm really happy with how clean this one's come out. Take a look at this thing of beauty. This roof has come out absolutely amazing. It's like liquid glass. Exactly what you want to see, especially on a 2025 car with about 10 miles on the clock. I'm genuinely super happy with how this has turned out, and I've got to say the IONSTAR has definitely played a big part in the final result. Clean, glossy, no stress. Can I ask for much more than that? So after cleaning out the Clearcoat gun, I came back into the booth to check how the clear was flowing out. And what do I find? A fly, casually strolling across the back of the roof I've just painted. A brave explorer, completely unaware of the dangers of tacky Clearcoat, strutting boldly, leaving tiny footprints of judgment. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. So just taking a quick look around the roof now that it's painted and baked, and honestly, it's really clean. You always expect to get the odd little dirt nib here and there, especially on big flat panels like this roof, but there's very little showing up. From what I'm seeing, I'd say we've got around 60 to 70% fewer nibs to flat out compared to a normal roof job we do. It's a massive difference. Once again, the IONSTAR's proven itself. Super clean finish, very minimal dirt. Honestly, I can't recommend it enough. If you're chasing the near perfect paint job, then I would strongly recommend to get the Ionstar Anti-Static gun. It goes that extra mile and gets you closer to the perfect job.